What is leadership? This is a difficult question to answer, as there are various definitions and interpretations of leadership out in the world, so many that it is seemingly impossible to choose just one. Leadership is the ability of an individual to use their strengths and talents to share their vision and ignite change. In order for this to be successful, the leader must have a strong understanding of themselves and of others, which includes the ability to listen, inspire, and empower. How did this little girl come to understand leadership? It's been a long journey, full of many lessons that have made me the person I am today. Leadership lesson number 1. You must have strength, courage, and hope. This is something I learned from my grandparents, who are both Holocaust survivors. My grandpa was in 4 concentration camps. Every day seemed endless, but despite the horrendous conditions and the brutalities he endured, he remained hopeful that something better was out there for him. My grandma is from Paris, and through an arrangement with a friend of the family, was hidden in a small village in central France. Every day she woke up in fear that someone would discover she was Jewish and would be sent away forever. My grandparents taught me everything I know about strength and persistence, qualities that I believe to be essential to leadership. Leadership lesson number 2. You must believe in yourself. I learned this lesson from my parents, who began teaching me how to ski starting at a very young age. I was scared that I would fall, but they kept on encouraging me to believe in myself and my abilities. My parents are my best friends and my role models. They always teach by example, and I learned how important it is to have compassion and trust from them. Leadership lesson number 3. I started reading Harry Potter with my dad in kindergarten, which led to my love of the series, something that was special that I shared with my dad and my sister. The Harry Potter series has been an important staple throughout my life and taught me that leadership can be defined in various ways. Both good and bad leadership are displayed throughout the series, and I learned how to distinguish the good from the bad. The series also taught me that leadership roles are not confined by a person's title or position, as Harry Potter and his friends exemplified what it meant to be a leader, even though they only had the title of students. I learned from the Harry Potter series that being a leader means choosing to do the right thing, even if it isn't easy. Leaders are not leaders because of their title or where they come from. An individual's actions are what makes them a leader. Leadership lesson number 4. Leaders do not lead for the sake of themselves. They lead to help others. Camp was fundamental in my understanding of myself as a leader. After being a camper for 7 years, I finally became a counselor. In my first summer as a staff member, I was assigned to be a counselor for 13-year-old girls. I knew this would be a challenging age group to work with and was very nervous. However, I realized I could make a positive impact on my campers' lives. They looked up to me as a role model, just as I did to my counselors when I was a camper. As a counselor, I also learned how important it is for leaders to truly get to know their followers. Many problems took place between my campers throughout my 3 summers working with 13-year-old girls. Taking the time to get to know each one of my campers is something I look back on as essential to my success. Leadership lesson number 5. The transition from high school to college was not an easy one. Being away from home at UMD felt different than being away from home at camp. I faced challenges that I never dealt with on my own before, such as making new friends, keeping up with a college workload, and navigating through a huge campus. I was overwhelmed and anxious. I learned the value of independence during my freshman year of college. I had to become comfortable with doing things on my own and taking care of myself. I decided to join a different sorority than my best friend, and even though that made me nervous, I took that leap of faith. This decision was one of the best ones I ever made, as it led me to meet some of my best friends and reinforce how important it is to be independent. When the time came for me to decide where to study abroad, I faced another difficult decision. I had wanted to go to Italy my whole life, but none of my friends wanted to study abroad there. I wasn't sure if I should follow my dreams or stick with what I knew. I reflected on the decision I made freshman year to join my sorority and how well that had turned out. I then decided to study abroad in Rome, even though I didn't know anyone in the program at the time. Once again, I made new friends, and my decision to study abroad in Rome is one that I will cherish forever. Pushing myself out of my comfort zone has led me to some of my greatest memories and friends. Independence is an essential trait for being a good leader. Leaders don't follow the crowd, they make their own path. Leadership is about living and learning. My past experiences, along with my leadership courses, have guided my own leadership definition, but the future is unwritten, and I know I have plenty of more lessons to look forward to.